My name's Duddy, Settle Builds and Stuff. Today we're going to be looking at the newly buffed Ballidorse Wrathweavers. Today these got a buff. They actually got a couple of buffs which we'll break down. We're going to get an extra 50% on shatter damage, but it's actually a little bit more than that. So again, we'll break this down. There's a lot of numbers to show you, but I wanted to really go in depth for these because I really love these exotics and the changes do make a really big difference. So stay with me, I will break it all down. The Ballidorse Wrathweavers, Hearts of Ice, targets frozen by your Winter's Wrath, take increased shatter damage, allies enrage your Winter's Wrath shockwave, and Frost Pulse, gain a frost armor and deal increased damage with stasis weapons. So this footage is actually from this morning, before the roaming super buffs and before the buffs to Ballidorse Wrathweavers. 71,652. And what I'm going to do is slow it down because there's also a shatter damage number that we need to take into account. You're going to see it now, 23,175, 71,652 plus the 23,175. That is a total number of 94,827. And one more time, that was this morning before the buffs. So this is after the buffs. And what you'll see straight away is we're actually getting two damage numbers now from the Ballidorse Wrathweavers. This is one of the things Bungie fixed today as well, which we'll go into later in the video. But the 57 number, the extra number, that is the shatter damage, and it's clearly stated now. So that's a really good change. So what we need to do now is check the damage increase of these numbers added together. I'm going to have all these jotted down in a moment so it's clearer. So 71,652 plus the 57,936. That is a total damage increase of 129,588. So the first number that you saw, 94827, all the way up to 129, that's a 36% damage increase, which isn't bad at all, but actually it is a lot more than that because in both clips I actually had the Ballidorse Wrathweavers on. So what I wanted to do then was test without the Ballidorse Wrathweavers and then with the Ballidorse Wrathweavers. So just the standard Winter's Wrath on its own, the damage is going to be a lot lower, as you can imagine. So the damage number is 59,710. And plus, we're going to see that extra shatter damage again as well, which will slow it down so you can see that shatter damage a lot better. So the Winter's Wrath just on its own without Ballidorse, 59,710, and then 19,312. And then what I do, obviously put the Ballidorse Wrathweavers back on, and you're going to see the damage increase of the exact same number as what it was before, but the total damage increase for having Ballidorse Wrathweavers on is 63%. Well, it's actually 64%. So it's an actual 64% damage increase now to your Winter's Wrath when you put these exotics on. So it's actually a really nice buff. And it's a lot more consistent now as well, especially just having that clear yellow number. So I'm going to go over the things that Bungie actually changed. So in today's patch notes, Ballidorse Wrathweavers increased bonus shatter damage from 100 to 150%. Increased shatter damage now shows as a yellow number, which we've just seen, to aid with visibility on the perk. And it's also fixed an issue where enemies were inconsistently getting the boosted shatter damage at higher frame rates. So altogether, it's actually a really solid buff. So the fixed, as I did a video on this like 4 days ago, something like that, I actually called this out. There was actually a couple of bugs previously that they wanted to fix. And on top of that, we've also got the buffs to roaming supers, 30 to 55% against champions as well. But where this actually shines is actually against mages and sort of tanky enemies. It's not really the best for champions, but there's all sorts of other things going on with Ballidorse Wrathweavers that make these a top tier choice now. So against this Ogre, this is the hardest difficult lost sector, and it just one slaps. Look at that, absolutely fantastic, really strong, and it really does a good job against clearing ads as well, getting an extra 63% damage. But mages and sort of tanky enemies is where this exotic shines. But it's not only the shatter damage increase that we're getting and the actual super damage increase with this exotic. We actually get a ×2 stasis weapon boost every time you put a healing rift down. It stacks with empowering rift as well. And also just being able to freeze things with frost pulse. Like I said, I did a whole video on this, so I will link that. I didn't want to go too much into the build, but I will leave a video to the other build that I did the other day where I clearly explain everything. And just getting that extra damage against champions as well is not to be sniggered at. It's really, really good. Mages, miners, even bosses, you can notice that big difference now. 63%, and getting that ×4 weapon surge or ×2 weapon surge from Ballidorse Wrathweavers is just another string to the bow, and it feels really, really nice, and it absolutely trounces mages. So let me know what you think. Will you give these a second chance? I love these anyway, and just getting that stasis weapon boost every time you put a rift down or a ×4 after your super just feels great. Plus now we've got that extra super damage as well. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Have a great night.